Hi, welcome. My name is Michele and I'm an independent demonstrator with Stamping Up. And I'd like to welcome you to my live today. If you're new, please jump on, say hello. It's always great to welcome new people watching my lives. Now, I'm as per usual, I have got an idea and it's all in my head, and I'm not sorry about this. There's a little bit of an issue here with my camera, so just bear with me and let's see if I can get this back up. Always happens when you're trying to do something, doesn't it? Things don't always necessarily want to go to plan. So how is everybody? Okay, I've still got someone here that's coming up as a Facebook user. Not quite sure whether this is the first time you've been on here. Facebook has been playing up. So it could be that, let me just turn this off again. Okay. Let me see if I can get this working. Looks like I've got it going the right way around. Sorry about this. I'm making you all a little bit dizzy. Facebook is playing up a bit, so it's not giving me names if you've already given permissions for StreamYards. So I'm really, all I've got is Facebook users. So welcome, whoever you are. If you want to let me know who you are, that it would be wonderful. Today we're going to play with an idea I've got. I've got a box here that my children gave me a gift in a couple of weeks ago for my husband and I, and I'm going to repurpose this box to gift a gift to somebody else in the next week or two. So I'm going to show you the product. So this is just, as I said, it's just a repurposed box. It's a beautifully shaped box. I should actually take the diagrams of this and maybe try to build one myself. It's good, heavy, strong, solid box. So I've got a gift that'll fit in there perfectly. And I thought what I want to do is decorate the front of it. So we're going to play with some products I haven't really played with as yet. So I'm going to just bring this up to my desk view so you can see it rather than seeing both. That's better. And what I'm going to play with, it's in the back here in the dies. Now let's see if I can find them. And then hopefully it'll tell me what page we're looking at. Bear with me 1 second. Here we go. Paper Florist Dies. And you can see those. So they're on page 165 in our annual catalogue. They're a standalone product, so it doesn't have any stamp sets or anything that goes with it. So it is something you might miss if you're sort of not really looking. The dies were used to create a lot of this here at the back. So that's a really good inspiration. And then they've had the daisies in here as well. So we're going to sort of play with a little bit of these. And now they said on page 33 is the other picture. Let's go page 33, 34. There's 33. So they've also been used along with this stamp set here, which is Good Feelings, here to create these cards. So again, they're sort of shown how to use these dies to create this. Now, I'm sort of looking at this and looking at the colors I've chosen, and I'm sort of thinking, well, maybe I've gone a little bit too soft. But there's lots you can do with this. If you're looking at this picture here, what they've done here with one of the dies, they've cut it out in white cardstock, and then looks like they've used the blending brushes to actually give colour to the flowers. With this one here, it looks like it's all cardstock. You may have a little bit of heavier colour added with your blending brushes in the centre there, um, just underneath of those petals. So I think there's a lot you can do with it. I just haven't had a chance yet to play. So we're going to play today. Now I've thrown a lot of things here onto my desk. So what I've done here, I've actually cut out all the dies so you can see what comes in the dies, because there's quite a bit in here. Some of these you do need to die cut more than once, like this one here. To make a flower, you would have to do it at least twice to be able to get 6 petals, because you definitely couldn't make a flower out of using just the 3. And again with this lot here and these ones here, and even possibly these, I mean, this one here, you've got 2 large and 2 small, so you probably could get 2 small flowers and 2 large flowers, or you could layer them up with the maybe 2 large and a smaller one on top. You've got lots of these centers. This one here, you can layer on top of each other and have a smaller type center. You've got these ones here, which cut out circles, which are also great for centers of leaves, centers of flowers, sorry. And leaves here. This one here is like, you could just leave it like that, or do that in green, and then you've got your buds, and you will see that in some of the pictures in the catalogue. This piece here is a die, and it cuts like a fringe, and so you can roll that up to create your centre of one of those big flowers, like they've done in the catalogue as well. So I've started die cutting a lot of this. I haven't finished die cutting everything, because I just sort of thought, and I've started with fairly pastel sort of colours too. I've started with bubble bath, lemon lolly, basic white. I've got old olive and granny apple green. I've done a few pieces in early espresso. I've done a few centerpieces in wild wheat, and I didn't use another colour too, I think. Or was wild wheat the only one? Maybe I did them in the early espresso. So we're going to start playing. So this could take... Hi, Glenda. How are you? So this could take a while. I've also pulled out my tags, and I've got a small tag there. I'm sort of thinking maybe doing 2 tags, but I'm not quite sure yet what colour, because I'm sort of thinking maybe I've gone too pastel in my colours that I've chosen for my flowers. This is a great idea to die cut everything so you can see them before you've even started. And I just keep this as reference for when I have classes and everything. But I've also pulled out the white core cardstock, and that comes in these colours here. And the colours that this comes in is Azure Afternoon, Berry Burst, Fresh Freesia, Lemon Lime Twist, and Night of Navy. And the good thing about this, and I'll show it to you in a moment, because I'm going to put some of this onto my box to start with, and then we're going to layer our flowers on top. It's got a white core, so there's pretty much like 3 layers of paper, and there's a few things that you could do with this. So they're the colours that it comes in. So you've got your Afternoon Azure, your Night of Navy, that's a Lemon Lime Twist, your Fresh Freesia, and your Berry Burst. So really nice bright colours. That's sort of why I'm wondering whether the colours I've chosen may be a little bit too subtle. But let's start off and see how we go. Now, I was sort of thinking of doing this piece onto my box. So I was sort of thinking of doing a band. Let me just bring my box back in. So I'm going to need a lot of input today. So you guys have to tell me what you think, whether you think I'm going right or think I'm going wrong. But I was thinking of doing a band in that. But then these are the colours that I've already die cut. And I'm just wondering whether I'm a little bit insipid. That doesn't look too bad on that colour. So we might just start doing what I'm sort of imagining and just see where it takes us. So, mind you, this paper here too isn't real thick. I've had white core paper before where it's actually been quite a thick cardstock. It's only really, it's not as heavy as our cardstock, but probably a very much similar weight to our designer series paper. So it's not a very heavy paper. Now, the other thing I did pull out, and I've got it here on my messy table, is, if I can find it, my deckled dies, my deckled rectangle dies. I just want to see, because this box, unfortunately, it's out of frame. Measurements of the box are, it's 15.5 by 24 or 9.5 by 6. So it's quite a big box, but I don't need to cover up the whole thing. So I was thinking of making, I've got a couple of different ideas. Whether I make a piece like that and then the flowers go on there, or I just do a piece. I like the ragged edge on this, but the beauty of this paper, and it's one reason I'm not quite sure whether I'm going to use these dies or not. Beauty of this paper is when you tear it. Hi, Linny, how are you? When you tear it, it's going to show a white core. So what I might do is, before I decide on these, I'm going to get the paper and cut it down. Now, I do like that. If I go that way, I like that sort of width. So the width of this die, just to give me a bit of an idea, ballpark idea, is about 4 inches. So even if I take a piece and cut a piece about 4.5, let's just pop my box to one side. I think I'm ready for a room cleanup. I feel like I'm getting piles and piles and piles of stuff all around me. Now, I haven't turned on my room light. Let me just pop that on just to see if it gives us a better lighting. If it flickers too much, we'll switch it off. So I said 4.5 inches, and this is the one I'm looking at using. So 4.5 inches is around about 11.5 centimeters. Actually, I'm going to take it to 5 because I really want to show you what you can do with white core paper. Now, I said our box was 6 inches wide, so let's just take that to 6. So this piece here, whoops, something has gone flying, fits, that's probably, my box is a bit wider than 6. That's okay. I'm quite happy with that. So it just comes in a little bit from the sides. But with white core cardstock, what you can do is when you tear it, now there's 2 ways of tearing things. When you tear something towards you, it's going to show you the core of the paper. When you tear it away from you, you're not going to see the core of the paper, you're going to see the back of the paper. So I'm going to tear this towards me because I want to show the core of the paper. Hi, Joan, how are you? And I'm being fairly generous, usually because I want to finish off with a piece around about that 4.5. We've gone about 5 inches, and I want a piece about 4.5. So I've allowed myself plenty to tear off. I normally only allow myself half a centimetre, 1/4 of an inch. Okay, so when I tear that towards me, you can see you've got the white tear. Now, if I turn this over and see how you got an edge without the whiteness, that's what you get when you tear away from you. So with this one here, you pretty much could just flip it over and have that side if you want. But I want to have this side here. A little bit too much white there maybe, so I can just tear a little bit of that off and just sort of take that down a little bit so it's not as wide. And I'm going to tear about the same again. So that's what you can do. One of the things that you can do with white core paper is when you tear it, you'll have that white core showing through, and you can have as little or as much as that core showing that you want. So that's going to be now getting pretty close to the actual width that I wanted to go for this box. So it's going to sit on my box. Bring my box back in. It's going to sit on my box just like that. Okay. So I'm not going to pop that on there just yet. We're going to make some flowers and work out what we're going to do and then put it all together. Now this box is good because it's got a hole on the side there and a hole here as well, so I can find some matching ribbon if I want to and pop it through there. So I don't want to put any ribbon or anything across there. I didn't want to make a belly band or anything because it'll tie up nicely with some sort of bow at the side. I'll have to go through my ribbon stash and see what I can find that's going to go. Okay, so the question is, do I stick with my pastel colors or should I bring in some of these other brighter colors with my core paper? Cutting it out in the die is not going to show your core as much. The other thing with this paper here too, it's got a little bit of a texture on it. I don't know whether you can actually see that, but there is a nice little bit of texture, and I do love a bit of texture on my paper. I think I might just stick for the moment for this with these colors here. We can always add a little bit of brightness with adding some other colors in. So I'm going to leave this cardstock. I'm going to pop it down here on the floor so it's out of my road. I was even looking at putting a little bit of this with it because this picks up a lot of those same colors that are in those core papers. But I think for what I'm wanting, I think it's a bit too bright. Mind you, it is for a young girl, so I'm hoping this is not going to look too old lady-ish, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's just take that box again out. There's our base, and let's build some flowers. I'm going to start with building this one here. I haven't die cut everything yet. I haven't die cut the fringe piece to go in this, but I don't think it has to if you don't want to. And I'm just trying to pull out 1, 2, 3, and another 3. So that's one flower. I did cut enough to make 2. Now, as I said, if you think that maybe we could add a different color or something, let me know. I haven't brought out, oh yes, I did bring out all my brushes. I had them all cleaning the other week, so I wasn't quite sure whether I'd got them all. I'm just going to use one of these little brushes here. And as I said, this is Bubble Bath. I'm just looking at my inks here, and I'm just wondering whether I could put Bubble Bath on Bubble Bath. And add a little bit of shading on the inside of these. Now I'm just going to use multi-purpose glue to put all these together. Of course, if you've got a hot glue gun, you could probably use a hot glue gun, but I always end up like in a tangle web of cobwebs when I use a hot glue gun. And for some reason, I'm getting a straight line there. Maybe, oh, there's a bit of a line from the die. That's why I'm getting that line across there. I don't know whether you can see that, but there's a very, very faint line across, and that's probably from the dies. Yep, look, got this piece here, and it's just showing up on my dies. So I've used, when I was cutting that, I've used, I did it on my big die, but if you're going to, these dies will fit through your mini die cut. And usually you would use your 2 Perspex plates, and your number 1 and the 2 Perspex. You could actually, if you go to the number 3 plate and your Perspex, you might not get that line as much, because it's not as, the 3 plate is not as thick as your number 1. But I'm not going to let this worry me, because by the time I fold these and glue them, because these have just got a little split in here, and we're going to fold it across that split. And it's going to help shape these, but we're also going to shape them a little bit with our bone folder. Now this is a little bit of a work in progress. I haven't pre-planned any of this. As I said, it's all in my head. Watch your fingernails, because you can be left with marks where your fingernails are sat, just like it's done there. Now this will fade a little bit, because when the ink starts to dry. Hopefully that'll just give us a bit of shading. So I hope the weather's nice where you are. It's pretty windy out here at the moment. I had to go out this morning, and I came home, and I was sitting in the car when I got home, because I like to sit in the warmth of the car, but still being sort of a little bit outside. Excuse me. And this great big huge box came flying down the street. I mean, a big box. It was easily probably about 1.5 meters, 2 meters in width, and probably the same in length, and a depth probably of about 60 centimeters. Whoever had put it out, because we had recycling picked up this morning, I think whoever put it out had expected it to be maybe picked up with the recycling, because they'd flattened it, but because the recycling probably refused to pick it up because it wasn't in their bin. And by the time I came home from up the street, the wind had picked it up and had thrown it all the way. I don't know how far up our street, but quite a way up our street. Just came rolling down like a big wheel. And I'm right on the corner of a main road, so I was a little bit concerned this morning that it was going to end up on the main road and cause an accident. So my husband has now come home, and he's dealing with it for me. There's no way I could have. It was just too big, too awkward. I'd be still out there trying to get it in our backyard if I had to. But it is quite windy. Okay, so just very quickly just curved all of those. Now I've got my glue here. I'm going to move this piece out of the road because I don't want to get glue on that. And we're just going to pop a little bit of glue on each one of these, and probably best when you fold them over. That glue maybe a bit more down the bottom. You could use a glue dot as well. You just want to fold those over like that. Actually, is that the way? Yeah, that's going to go hoping I've got my petals going the right way. I'm getting a crease in there because I have bent them. I'm wondering now whether I've bent them the right way. We'll find out. We will find out. Now, don't do what I just did on that one. You want the glue down the bottom and just over the top. Do have to hold those for a little bit just for that glue to take. Not quite sure how quick that's going to be. So let's just try the glue dots. See if we can get this working a bit quicker, because that's just starting to not want to hold. And I've just got a funny feeling I'm going to want this all to go. Not quite how I'm wanting it to go. I want it like that. Really doesn't like me today, does it? Okay, I'm going to bend that one in there. Don't know how this is not looking real good. But we can mold it a little bit. Let's try that one again. Just mold it a little bit. Okay. I'm going to try glue dots, see if we can put this together much quicker. Who finds the glue dots don't stick as well as what they used to? I want them cupped like that. So because I've softened those edges, it's sort of creased a little bit. So we want them to come, and we want that to go in, but the petal to go out. So it's like a, I don't know if you can see that scooped. You need some of those little quilting clips to hold them together. You do, and I've got somewhere, but they're out in my kitchen. And I'm not going to race out there now. But that would be handy to have something like that. Maybe I'm folding that. That one went better. I think the glue dots is the way to do this. And maybe the way I folded, because this one here, I know I folded the same way. They're folding a lot better now. Gee, that was a funny sounding bird out there. I think when you cross them over, you just got to mold it a little bit as you're crossing. They are coming together a lot better. I wish the glue dots were on the other side. Got the glue dots on this piece of paper here rather than being on the main roll there. Well, I think they used to have them that way, but for some reason. Okay, let's just push that into there like that. Oh, look, we're going great guns. Good thing you can't see me, because usually when I'm thinking, I sit with my tongue sticking out. Talking stops me from sticking my tongue out. So what's everybody got planned for this weekend? Something exciting and fun, I hope. I get that one. Yep, it's on there. And the lucky last one. Okay. Oops, no, one more. Oh, it's still not there. You're having morning tea with a team member tomorrow to go through some stuff, and she's picking up a retired set. Well, that'd be nice. Yeah, I had a lovely morning yesterday morning. I had another demonstrator friend of mine come over for morning tea. It was lovely. I met her at the embroidery weekend I went to a couple of weeks back, and it was lovely. She just happened to be a Stampin' Up demonstrator and doesn't live very far away. So, okay, so there's all those petals. So now we need to put these together in a flower. Now I'm assuming because there was 6 or 2 lots of 3 that we only need 6 to build these up. So let's see if we can build these up. Now, I'm not quite sure. We'll go back to our glue. Hopefully I haven't put too much glue in there. And we're going to overlap these, each one. And hopefully my little puddle of glue there won't show by the time we get to our last one. There's 3. Oh, Glenda, I think you're right. We do need those clips. And I don't have anything else handy. Don't even think I've got any little bulldog clips handy. Sort of gone through all my drawers and I wonder if they're too big. Got rid of a lot of things recently. Might just hold. We put those 3 together. And let's do another 3. Worst case scenario, we recut them. Now I've only got those 2 clips, so let's just build up a couple more. I'm going to end up with very gluey fingers. At least by watching me make the mistakes, you guys hopefully can come back and make them and have them looking really good. Yeah, it was nice catching up with her again, Linny. Then this morning when I went out, I caught up with another friend of mine who's a demonstrator as well. Yeah, they are fiddly. I'm not going to say they're not. I think what you need to do is tuck. Good thing they haven't stuck down properly. I probably actually should just keep adding these. These are fiddly. Probably would help too if I had my silicone mat here, but I haven't. I don't know where it is. And this fell down. I'm going to get it in the end, don't you worry. And I'm making a big old mess in the middle, but that's okay. I've got ideas of how to clean that up. Oh dear. I hope you guys are laughing. As long as you laugh with me and not at me. It looks so easy on the video that I watched the other day. Oh, I'm ending up being a big mess. That's out of the road. But it's going to be worth it in the end. Except my fingers are now sticking to everything. Oh dear. Okay. Let's try this one again. My mother, as a child, used to make, well, when I was a child, she used to make for me for school fairs decorated bikes. And she would sit there for hours making paper flowers out of crepe paper. I'm glad I never tried doing anything like that for my kids. That last one just does not want to sit. They're not looking pretty, are they? No, they're not something you could put in the post. That's why this is sort of something I'm thought of doing. And giving it. It's just they're not really wanting to work for me. I want all those to be overlapped, but they're not just. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now, if anyone's got some ideas on what we should do rather than throwing these in the bin, please let me know. Just trying to get all those just to. That doesn't look pretty at all. I've just got like a hot mess here. If I can get one of these flowers out of all these bits, I will be really happy. And what I've just done is I've just actually used that split, and because I wanted all those petals to be overlapping each other. I'm not going to let it beat me. Okay, where is that catalogue? I'm just having a bit of a look here. I think I'm being too ambitious trying to get 6 petals around. They've done that one only with 3, and then they've done that one with 3, and then they've brought in another 3 underneath. So I'm going to pop all of those to one side, and I'm going to push all this to one side. Now, should we try... Hi, Lee. You're stalking Joan, are you? Looks like you do 3, then add 3 behind. That's what I'm thinking, Glenda. So, do I continue in? Now, by the time I'm finished doing this, you guys will know exactly what to do, and you'll have no excuses for not making some beautiful flowers. Now, I'm going to have to cut this down to get it into my small. Now, that die is only about yay wide. By about 4 inches. Just want to use my little one here. Because if Stampin' Up! Can do this, we can do this. Now, can you imagine if I was using hot glue gun? I would be covered in the stuff. So let's just bring these in again. This time I'm not going to worry about shaping them just yet. I've got glue all over my fingers. I haven't even worried about colouring them this time. One more. I think glue dots are the way to go. I'm just going to give these a little bit of a shape around the edges. I still do want these to come out a little bit. I'm going to pop a glue dot in the back of that one. Take, yep. And we're going to go one, two. Look how simple that was. Use glue dots. Then that one is going to go, I want it fairly tight flour. I don't want to, that one. I think that bit of string's going to annoy me. That one. Okay, is that looking better, rocket flour? Yay, nay. Looks a bit, I don't know, this one here, petal here, looks like it needs to come out a bit further. So when you put them on underneath, you don't need to take them in as close. You want to sit them out a little bit further. So first three will be all sitting on top of each other, but the next three out come out a bit. You do want to manipulate it. That even to me looks a bit like a hot mess as well. I'm not overly... I think you need to really sort of play with this. Because the other thing is too, you could just lay them flat rather than having them dimensional. I just put on a box. Maybe that petal there is a bit. But anyway, let's just keep going, because once we've added a few things in and around, we might get a completely different look. So I sort of thought of adding that into there. We might just make this look completely different by the time we're finished. So that's going to go in there. I know I probably should have used a glue dot, but that will eventually take. So that's that. So this is our piece. So we want that probably to sit there. I'm thinking of having the tag coming down there somewhere. Yet to put happy birthday on that. Reckon that looks better, Glenda? Okay. Now, these flowers here, they've got those. Let's go back to that catalogue again. Have they got those on there? Yep, what they've done there is they've layered them, and then they've laid them like 2 layers. And they've used that one again with one of those in the centre. Okay, let's have a look at that one. So what they've done, and I'm going to cut that off. That's just driving me crazy at the moment. Stuck to my fingers. Okay. One of those in the centre. That. And what they've done is they've put that like that. So that blue flower, they've layered up like that. So they've put 2 of these on top of each other like that, and then they've taken the 2 small ones. Actually, that's a big. They've taken 2 big ones and put them on top of each other, taken 2 small ones, put it on top of each other, and then they've taken those and put those on top. I'm going to restart with the ones at the bottom and just curl these a little bit. Sort of curling them downwards. Actually, what I think I might do is flip that over. That's the back. And I'm going to start with these little ones. And I'm going to flip them upwards. And then I'm going to come and flip the next layer. Just going to roughly do it. I don't think I need to be too, because I want them coming up. Flowers tend to come, petals go upwards, not so much downwards. Just a little bit like that. And then what they've done, and I actually quite like that, and I haven't got one of those in a white, so less die cut. That die, which is, I've got to look through my dies here. That one there. Now I'm just going to move that to there. And then this lemon, you've got two of these dies here. And what this does here, this one here has got the big circle with stitching around it and the little circle with dots in it. This one's got the big one with dots in it and the little one with the stitching around it. And I want the little one with the dots in the middle. So I want that one. I would say if you cut a whole stack of these, have a plastic bag or something or a little box you can store them in. And because if you do more than what you need, then you can always come back and make more flowers for another project rather than having to die cut lots. So what I'm going to do is I want to put glue dot on the back of that. Wish you could always ring a bell when I go off screen, because I do want you to see what I'm doing. Make sure you don't lose your little dies everywhere, and then that can go in the middle of that one. I'm just going to put a bit of glue in there. Turn these up a little bit. I'm just flicking them up with my fingers. Now I wish that centerpiece was a different colour. Oh dear. No. I've got these stuck to me everywhere. Would it look better with a brown centre? Possibly. I think the yellow is just too insipid. Too much the same as the other flower. So I'm just going to add. You go to your doctors and we'll catch up with you later. Thanks for watching, Glenda. Okay, that's better. So we've got that. We have got, that's going to go on there. That's going to go with there as well. Got our tag. Okay, let's just stamp our tag. So I've already got a happy birthday, and I'm using my happy birthday from Go To Greetings. And I am just going to stamp this in Memento in the black. That's okay. And I want some baker's twine. I think I want that in black, and I've got a piece here. It's a black box. I'm going to tie this in a big floppy type bow. So I just want that to be okay. So that's going to go there. I'm going to glue that on. I was thinking of doing another tag underneath, but I think at the moment, this is just taking way too long. That can go on there like that. So we can pop that onto there. Maybe that coming out from there. Let's pop a little bit of glue there like that. This one here can go in there. Let's bring in our box. So that's going to go on top of our box just like that. So before I get too much further carried away, I'm going to add this on now. Lots of glue on there. That's almost in lined up where the bow is going to attach there on the side. Okay. So I've got a whole stack of, now there's one other little thing I want to build up. Now in here I've got a whole stack of leaves. I've got these, and I've got little buddy pieces. Now there should be a few more. All in amongst all these little bits and pieces in here. There we go. Now this is I cut out with that with the old olive. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue on the back of each one of these. Now I've sort of got that other big flower sort of sorted. I think I need to practice a bit more with it. Pop that one on there. Now these have got like different sizes. So you've got a couple of small ones, two small ones on the outside, a big one in the middle. Small one on the outside again. I'm just going to let that one dry. There is a second one in here. The old olive, I'm going to do that one as well. Did cut out other flowers in white because I was going to add some more, but I'm just sort of wondering at the moment whether less is more. And plus my fingers are turning black from glue. Really should have the silicone mat here. You know, it's good every now and then things don't quite work out the way you plan, because it enables you to give it a go and to learn how they should be done and try out different things. And sometimes you can, there we go, that one's drying. You can learn by your mistakes. Now that one there just needs that, one of those buds just to be brought out a little bit. Keeps sticking to my finger, that's the problem. Okay, so I'll let those just dry for a second. These are the white flowers I was talking about. So these ones here, I'm not quite sure how they're a bit wonky looking. So, but I'm assuming you would layer them up. You've got like 3 here and 2. And I'm just wondering whether you would take that 3. I think that's a play for another day. Might just keep going with what we've got here and not worry about that so much. So this one here, I want to pop a little bit of glue on here. Pop that into there. Oops. Coming out from there like that. Now we've got all these leaves. So I've got leaves here in the granny apple green. I just want to fill some of these spaces. Problem is my fingers are so sticky that I'll put something down and it just keeps pulling out. Quite where I wanted it. There we go, that one can go in there. Another one we can pop. I'm not going to let this beat me. I am going to have more plays with these. Put that one in there. Also got some other shaped leaves here. I'm just going to lift that up. Just have to turn this around a bit. This is just not pushing that in a bit there. Okay. Now, of course, you could cut some of these leaves in vellum. Another one of these bigger leaves. There. That's the piece from that bow. I want that. Just wants to twist, but that's okay. That's coming there. One of these bigger leaves again in old olive. Coming out there like that. Okay, do we need any more leaves? What do you think? Just turn this around. You could really go to town with the amount of different coloured leaves you want to add to this as well. So add a bit of that to there. And I really think that that's getting to be about. Let's push that in there. Even though we had trouble with that pink flower to start with, I'm quite happy with the way that has ended up. And I'm going to add on here, if I can find them. I'm sure we still have them, and I'm sure I've got some somewhere. Maybe those or black. Or the butterflies. Okay. I'm wondering whether a couple of little butterflies on this would be quite nice. I mean, there's a lot of black on that, so I don't think it needs any more black. If I was going to add one of those, it'd be the gold. Butterflies could be quite fun. Just needs a little bit of bling. How about that? Okay. I think after all of that, I'm done. I hope you've enjoyed that. I've made quite a big mess. It's one of those projects. I think you need to play with the dies and the bits and pieces a lot more and study the pictures in the catalogue. But I'm pleased with the way that has ended up. That's for a young girl for her birthday. And recycling a box And I can add, if I can find a nice pink bow, to put a pink bow there on the side. That'd be quite pretty. So thank you for joining me today. I'm going to leave you. My lunch is probably getting cold. And I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you'll, this has taken a bit over an hour. So I hope you'll come back next week. And I promise we'll do something a little bit quicker. So take care. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for having patience. And I hope you've you're game enough to have a try and play with these dies. And I'm sure that there is a lot simpler ways of using them. But I think they could be fun. Okay, take care. I'll see you later. See you next week. Bye now.